Mama Watiasia say the Supreme Court under President Akufo-Addo take very controversial decisions, but in recent years, no, Yebeka say, and in recent times, Yebeka say the most controversial one, at least, ama people from all walks of life, or more eka say tia pano, sa abambagbin, ene afenyuma kendie. Na Togbe Afede, and so ede ne voice ababekan. In fact, a lot of people are nanka semba or musuru so mbekasa afa. And you say be musuru, but obuonti, eya no mo beso mbekasa afa eye Supreme Court in sensem hono. For the very first time they are speaking. Togbe Afede and someone what can I say? Sa recent judicial rulings it defies logic. Now because a bibi defy logical, not just say binyanse nim common sense nim. Ya ka say logical. Not just idea bia yenim say we die e say neti, we die say neti. Intu kokoye bibi na ade no yenim say neti na ade no wa o de akwa akofa ba bia. Ade no de wo ye die asenyanse nim. Basically no. Obi ka say what you are doing defies logical. That is, I mean, another meaning for it. And so I said the recent judicial rulings here a defy logic. Or say, Togbe Afede, the 14th, the Agbogbo of the Asogli state has expressed concern over the recent tensions between the Speaker of Parliament and the judiciary, which he says have raised alarms among well-meaning Ghanaians. He criticized some judicial rulings, describing them as illogical and uninspiring. It is not only this ruling, and Togbe Afede wo boichi. In fact, judicial rulings. I say he criticized judicial rulings. Not to say rulings be bra akoso, and a walk asafa ho say inkaye. His comments come after after former Supreme Court judge Justice William Atuguba also raised issues over the composition of the Supreme Court panel that ruled in favor of Majority Leader Alexander Afenyomakin's suit, challenging Speaker Alban Bagbe's decision to declare 4 parliamentary seats vacant. Former Supreme Court Judge Asemo Atuguba mehune say a member of the Judicial Council ababeka say Atuguba nsemo a wokan ne de am say okasama ne broso na eye no wan say Atuguba kan nsemo a wokan. And you see, that should be a message to these people to tell them, say, baby, I'm why you na kwa kodu no. And so people are fed up and they are speaking. My mama what here say, if there's something under President Akufo-Addo ne appointees, if there's something under them, is the fact that most of them are narcissists. They are egoistic. And a trait of someone who is egoistic or narcissist, and they say, they don't see the wrongs they've done. It is never their fault. It is always your fault. Inti same way ni na ye kano me ubisania are falling on deaf ears. Two Togbe Afede nsemo a wokan. O say chale nsem bebre enye weipe enye afenyuma kendie nepe. Bebre. O say Atuguba described the majority ruling as predictable given the panel's makeup. As Togbe Afede in an interview with journalists on the sidelines of the 9th congregation of Ensign Global College at Kpong, in the Lower Manyakrobo municipality of the Eastern region, lamented the state of the judiciary and its recent interpretations of the law. It is unfortunate that a former Supreme Court justice said the judiciary has become very predictable. It is unfortunate, and some of the decisions that have been made by the judiciary have not been very inspiring. We want the judiciary that we all know exists to protect all of us, ensure freedoms, and ensure fair justice delivery. But happenings recently have given us cause for concern. Sometimes, in some ways, the laws interpreted just defy logic. Basically, that's what Togbe Afede has said. Wakana adwen, wakana diewie. Eto de bia judiciary no cases a omode ba na nsem a womo ka no sabe eya ananyansa enye de enim na you see eya na mpanyifo bi se ne eya na epeso omo kasa ati ase mpanyinfo sei na ya na yepese omo kasa because wa hwe na ne pakro no oni ni munyedu no no ko kasa dia yebehye da ba hwehwa ne pakro no ba mpanyinfo bi sei omo kasa dia wo ko fa hin se wo ba hwehwa Togbe Afede won ne hwan menka say he's above the Lord here, but obi anim if Togbe Afede passes a comment like this, no one is coming to obi ani wo be say obey we. But you see, fatu meaning say some MPP people will be bashing all these people. Oh, just the former Chief Justice Atuguba or no NDC ni intimunya. I know say a lot of people say that. Obeka so former Chief Justice Atuguba NDC ni intimunya munya no. Togbe Afede no krano of Revolta region basically no or NDC ni intimunya. I know say all these people. These are the things they will say. But you see, eya na asemba personally no. Eya na me pese ye politics no e free nchen. Ni ebisa ye ho personal questions. Embre bi na me kan asema true bi say e wi ase won say ye se ye betena se na ye bisa ye ho ensemfo bi pa ye be hu ne say nanka bibi a ye bo mpa ya atre Nyankopon no Nyankopon we odikan ya mayen answer de dada. Just because we don't sit down and we don't question ourselves no. Intia na ase yegusu a ye bo mpa ya atre nyame ye se mame but every single thing a yegusu a ye bo mpa ya atre nyame no Nyankopon we dikan eyi ya no de dada. And I strongly believe say eya o say Togbe Afede any Atuguba they are being political. Tenase ne bisa ho a simple question. Say okay, what was the essence of the introduction of the Supreme Court in this case? The essence of the Supreme Court, the introduction of the Supreme Court was to interpret the law so that everything will become clear. In the first place, Article 97, no, it is not ambiguous. So wo bronika se bibi ye ambiguous na chese ade no entiase no ye mienu wati ase obi ka se bibi ye ambiguous dia sa na broni ebeka no na chese obi tiase foforo obi nso tiase foforo na nipa kon tiase a wote ase foforo no odwen ho a nyansa wom nso die na wote ase foforo no odwen ho a eno nso nyansa wom ene na broni friend ambiguous eto de bia ensem bi si a sa na ete ambiguous. Ghana mrane trese eya na mrane bia eye ambiguous no eno ene ye de beko Supreme Court na Supreme Court eyi sa friends and seal of ambiguity no efri so na eno no ni na trese Supreme Court ne be tretre mu yie na ma ebia senia na me mete ho mete ase na won so oti ase no efri ho ama entirase na ye baako. In the first place, Article 97, no, sa embrawe, it wasn't ambiguous. Into the fact say ye dia kwako to Supreme Court enim ne kra no, sebe na nyanse enim. And a Supreme Court edi ruling aba. Me say wo de anya hwe, wo say Togbe Afede ye NDC ni ntia na wo kase tia Supreme Court judges anya hwe. Wo say Justice Atuguba, former Justice Atuguba or ye NDC ni ntia na wo kase etia current Supreme Court judges no, wo de anya hwe. Yate. Wa wo ye MPP ni no bisa ho say sa ruling ya Supreme Court edebaye then no maye have they clarified the ambiguity over it and I say they have now caused more chaos. After this story I'll bring you a different story of Ghana School of Law omo former penny Ghana School of Law omo penny asemo a wono so ka wo ka sisi ampo de Supreme Court judges no edi more chaos aba. Because at the end of the day, obi anti asiemo. If there is anything, Krana, it is now that the Supreme Court has even added more ambiguity. It is now that the Supreme Court nekrano, one ma dia no, entri asiano kra akọ echire. Because first the krani eti asiye sinse. Because case kokoto Supreme Court anymore for events saying events a clarification eba e was say obi ati asiye. Ba afa ye ba ye no Abambagben lawyer babo nti ababeka say yemfa order bi anto Abambagben so nti Abambagben eni kwan so odi so ebi mo so kasa say da bi eye Supreme Court na ma ruling nti eye den kra wo so odi so udwen ho won ti ase omo read the judgment nsem omo kan say there was no order also said there was no order there, now so still also this so which one want to say ntisi ampona Supreme Court the ambiguity aba beto ade ne so ntisi a wo say atogoba NDC ni untie no Togbe Afede ye NDC ni nti untie na bisa ho say Supreme Court no omoma ye kɔ ya na ye bae because our case na ka wo so omoma ye kɔ anana nka wo so omoma ye ba sisi ade ya kan finfini. And you see, Intern America said the power of questioning yourself. Once you start questioning yourself, a lot of things are going to be clear to you. And so just sit down and question yourself, saying, "Sisi a Supreme Court ruling no mo de aba ne pano. Ade na metiasia na. Sisi a no ruling ne kra no, entiasia ne senyi, entiasia ne toma adwim." It is as simple as that. Once you are able to ask yourself that question, and you are able to be truthful to yourself, and you are able to come with a solution, say, okay, Supreme Court idea working, my dream when say eto asum. Hey, Supreme Court idea working there, and to assume not just say in this scenario, say ni say to me sidia, na no way who say, well, there was an injustice. Akoso. It's as simple as that. Way ABC. Inti media de meka no no. Mon try mo adwen me da se.